Hello everyone, welcome back to Arpita Sharma classes. We are back with a very important series today, which is the Supreme Court Case Laws series. As we know, going through this year's mains ka question paper in GS paper 2, we have seen that questions have come out from Supreme Court's verdict, and that is why to cover the Supreme Court important case laws becomes a must. Today we are starting with first case, that is A.K. Gopalan versus State of Madras 1950. A very important case in the history of Indian judiciary because this case talks about the distinction between fundamental rights, the independent nature of fundamental rights, and what is natural justice. So this case is considered as the watershed moment in Indian legal history. Let us understand what are the details of the case, what are the facts, then we'll go through the facts of the case, then we'll go through the Supreme Court's verdict, and what is the teaching behind Supreme Court's verdict. That means what is the importance or significance of this verdict or this judgment. So these are the three pointers in every Supreme Court case that we are going to study. This is the structure how we are going to study the facts, then the verdict, and the importance or significance of the verdict. Okay, let's get started without any delay then. When we talk about the A.K. Gopalan case, this case was studied in the Supreme Court on, write it down, 15th of December 1950. Okay, this case was heard in the Indian Supreme Court and it has set a precedent for the protection of citizens' rights under preventive detention laws. So write that down. So basically, this entire case revolved around the Preventive Detention Act of 1950. जो 1950 का प्रिवेंटिव डिटेंशन एक्ट था, उस एक्ट के आसपास ये केस जो है रिवॉल्व करता है, in which allowed the government to detain individuals without trial. So what was this act of 1950? Write it down. So this particular act allowed government to detain individuals without trial if they were deemed to be a threat to national security. मान लीजिए कोई इंडिविजुअल गवर्नमेंट को लगता है कि नेशन की सिक्योरिटी के लिए खतरा बन सकता है, तो वो उस बिना पर उस इंडिविजुअल को डिटेन कर सकते हैं. ठीक है, पॉइंट क्लियर हो गया. सो A.K. Gopalan was basically a communist leader. Okay, he challenged the constitutionality of this particular law. ये प्रिवेंटिव डिटेंशन लॉ जो है इसकी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनैलिटी संवैधानिकता को इन्होंने चैलेंज किया. ओके, In a unanimous ruling, Indian Supreme Court upheld the law. Supreme Court का क्या verdict आया? Supreme Court upheld this particular law. Okay, and it also ruled that citizens could be detained without trial if they are a threat to national security. So Supreme Court said कि ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. We cannot remove this law because if a person is posing as a threat to national security, we can detain that person for protecting the nation. Now let us understand the facts of the case. अब इस केस के ना facts पढ़ लेते हैं. What happened actually? So A.K. Gopalan, who was a communist leader, he was held under 1950 Preventive Detention Act, and he claimed that he had been imprisoned since 1947 without being tried. मतलब he was not given the chance to prove that he is not a threat to the nation's security. There were no trials that took place, and he said that I have been in prison since 1947. मतलब I have been imprisoned. And it was held, he also said I was held accountable under criminal statutes that had been repealed. मतलब उन criminal laws के तहत मुझे imprison किया गया है जो repeated हैं, जो इंडिया में अभी है ही नहीं. So those criminal statutes which are no longer used in India, those statutes have been used to imprison me. He claimed that natural justice standards were not followed in his case when the government imprisoned him, and he was not given a fair hearing. These were the pointers that A.K. Gopalan was raising, and he filed a case under section 32 under the habeas corpus writ against the order imposed under section 3 subsection 1 of Prevention of Detention Act. What is writ? Writ क्या होता है? So basically writs are written order from the Supreme Court or High Court that commands constitutional remedies for Indian citizens against the violation of their fundamental rights. Okay, those are writs. तो उन्होंने क्या किया? A.K. Gopalan ने, what he did, he filed a petition using this particular writ habeas corpus that my case should be heard in the Supreme Court and that natural justice standards should be applied in my cases. and an order was imposed against him. He claimed order issued under Preventive and Detention Act violated his fundamental rights under Article 14, 19 and 21. एंड ही सेड कि ये जो प्रिवेंटिव डिटेंशन लॉ है मेरे खिलाफ यूज किया गया है, इस लॉ ने मेरे 3 आर्टिकल फंडामेंटल राइट्स जो हैं वो वायोलेट किए हैं. ओके, नाउ लेट अस फर्दर अंडरस्टैंड व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट आर्टिकल 21. दिस इज इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर प्रीलिम्स. Article 21 basically talks about procedure established by law. There is a line in Article 21 which says procedure established by law, which means due process of law. And in his case, legal procedure was not followed, which resulted in the breach of Article 21. That was claimed by A.K. Gopalan. A.K. Gopalan ने ये क्लेम किया कि भाई मेरे केस में आर्टिकल 21 को ब्रीच किया गया है क्योंकि ड्यू प्रोसेस ऑफ लॉ तो फॉलो ही नहीं किया गया. I was just detained on the doubt or on the suspicion of national security, threat to the national security. That was the suspicion, right? That is why he approached the court. So what was the verdict of Supreme Court? Finally, Supreme Court, after looking into the case, concluded that there is first of all no relationship between Article 21 and 19. You cannot link these two articles together. All the fundamental rights are independent of each other. Now, have you heard about the golden triangle in fundamental rights? When you study fundamental rights, there is a concept called golden triangle. Golden triangle consists of 3 articles, Article 14, 19 and 21. When Article 14, it talks about right to equality. Please create this flowchart. It's going to help you in your mains answer writing also. Right to equality is in Article 14. Article 19 basically talks about right to freedom. ये बात करता है right to freedom की. And Article 21 talks about, write it down, right to life and liberty. Right to life and liberty. They are popularly known as the golden triangle of Indian Constitution. And they are of prime importance. Why? Because they breathe vitality in the concept of rule of law. Rule of law. ये जो concept है Indian polity का, उसके अंदर जान कौन भरते हैं? ये आर्टिकल्स. सो दिस गोल्डन ट्राइंगल बेसिकली दे आर द बेसिक प्रिंसिपल्स which ensures the smooth running of life for a citizen. Right to equality, right to freedom, right to life and liberty. If these rights are with you, you can very smoothly, spend your life in this nation. It provides full protection to individuals from any encroachment upon their rights. That is why they are known as the golden triangle. Now, what is rule of law? Basically, in essence, rule of law means that no person can be arrested, punished, or can be lawfully made to suffer in body. Underline, or can be lawfully made to suffer in body. Even using the law, you cannot make that person suffer in body or in goods except by due process of law. So, if the due process of law is not followed to arrest a person, to punish a person, then that would be breach of his fundamental rights. Okay, that is known as the rule of law. So you can say rule of law means that all the laws apply equally to all citizens of the country. No one is above the law. यहाँ पर लिख लो, no one can be above the law. Can be above the law. This is the meaning of rule of law. Now comes the concept of natural justice. From the point of view of prelims, you need to understand, write it down. The idea of natural justice, it is not present in the Indian Constitution. In the Indian Constitution, हमारे भारतीय संविधान में ये idea present नहीं है. Yes, we have rights, but the idea of natural justice is understandable. It is not written or present in Indian Constitution. Okay? The aim of natural justice, this principle, is to ensure equity in the economic undertakings of society and people. Whatever is present in the society, there should be fair, impartial and reasonable justice which should be prevalent in the society among the people. Justice जो होना चाहिए, the justice जो होगा आपका, ठीक है, वो आपका fair होना चाहिए, impartial पक्षपात नहीं होनी चाहिए और reasonable होना चाहिए. This principle includes no person should be a judge in his own cause. Okay, so there should be impartiality. It defends individual liberty against any arbitrary action of the government or any other individual or institution. कोई भी कैसे भी आपके खिलाफ कोई एक्शन नहीं ले सकता अपने मन के चलते. Due process of law has to be followed. That is the principle of natural justice, which is followed by Supreme Court. So Supreme Court in this verdict said that the norms of natural justice were not breached. Okay, यहाँ पर natural justice का कोई भी norm breach नहीं किया गया है. All right, because the detention was done legally using the preventive detention law. जो प्रिवेंटिव डिटेंशन लॉ था उस स्टैच्यू का यूज करके आपको डिटेन किया गया है. So where does the breaching of articles of fundamental rights or principle of natural justice comes into the scene? When due process of law has been followed by the government. So Supreme Court said, first of all, the articles are individually interpreted. We cannot link one article to another. Secondly, in your case, in Gopalan sir's case, natural justice has been protected. It has not been breached. All right. So his writ petition was rejected by the court. So Supreme Court has evolved till date. Okay. There were different phases in which Supreme Court evolved. First was the textualist approach. In its earlier years, the Supreme Court adopted this textualist approach. It focused on the literal meaning of the words which were mentioned in the Constitution. And that is when the A.K. Gopalan case came, in which Supreme Court interpreted the fundamental rights under Part 3 of the Constitution. So in this case, the leaders of Communist Party, they claimed preventive detention legislation was breaching Article 19, 21 and 22. So Article 19 talks about right to freedom, 21 talks about right to life, 22 talks about protection against arbitrary arrest and detention. And here in this phase, Supreme Court dealt with the most important question, whether there are any limitations on Parliament's power to amend the Constitution, especially the fundamental rights, or not. Okay, this was the question which was raised in this case. The court in its early years read the Constitution with literally each and every word as it is. There were no other interpretations. Okay, but in the phase 2 of the evolution of Supreme Court, which is known as the, write it down, the structuralist approach. This was the second phase of Supreme Court's evolution, phase number 2, wherein now Supreme Court started interpreting the lines and words of Constitution. Before that, as it is, the lines were read and judgment was passed till A.K. Gopalan sir's case. But after that, the other case came, which was the Kesavananda Bharti case, wherein interpretation started from the end of Supreme Court. So what is the significance of this case? Here in this case, Supreme Court interpreted articles of Indian Constitution. Supreme Court established standard for how Indian courts would interpret and apply constitutional provisions in future cases also. For example, Supreme Court said that the principle of natural justice is not written in the Indian Constitution, but it exists. Okay, that is the due process of law. And in detaining A.K. Gopalan, the due process of law was utilized. Supreme Court also said that Indian Constitution is a living text. This is important for prelims. They can ask you in which case this particular line was said. It was said in the A.K. Gopalan case of 1950. And as the situation changes, time changes, Indian Constitution also can be read accordingly, can be interpreted accordingly. Okay. Supreme Court also said that the fundamental rights cannot be linked together. They have to be interpreted separately. Okay. So this was the importance of this case. I hope आपको ये case अच्छे से समझ आया होगा. I hope that you have understood this case and you have understood the key concepts which were highlighted in the case. On this note, we are wrapping up the first session.